Hi friends and family, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Sarah, and today I want to talk about how being off of social media for half a year has changed my life or had changed my days. So before I get started, just want to tell you that this is not me recommending you or telling you what to do or what not to do, or to even make a point that all social media platforms are evil and that nobody should use them whatsoever. I do believe social media is just like a tool, just like anything else. You can use it for your good, you can use it in a beneficial way to bless other people, or you can use it in a harmful way like money, right? So I wanna just talk to you guys about my personal experience of fasting from social media for about 6 months. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So the first thing that I noticed almost immediately after being off of social media was that I had so much more time. I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but when I was pretty active on Instagram, even though I wasn't like an active poster or anything, I didn't realize actually how much time was going into it by scrolling through other people's feed whenever I was bored. When I really thought about it, all the time that I was spending scrolling, looking at other people's lives, when I put them together, it actually accumulated to about 1 to 2 hours every day. And I just realized that's actually a pretty big chunk of your time, like 2 hours out of 24, given that you sleep for 8 to 9 hours if you're a healthy sleeper. And for 1 to 2 hours, you can probably read a book or so. So after being away from social media for quite a bit of time, I realized I have more time to actually read. I was running a lot more than before. I was drinking more bubble tea. I don't know if that's productive, but you get my point. I just had more time to do the things that I always told myself that I wanted to do more of, and it was just easier for me to do these things because I didn't fill my time scrolling through Instagram page. Now, in relation to that, the second point that I want to make was that I also had more headspace and a better focus in the activities that I did daily. So for example, even before social media, whether I was on it or without it, there are certain daily activities that you do on a daily basis, like, going to work and finishing your assignments if you're a student, or cooking dinner, or spending time with your family. And being away from social media, I felt like I had more headspace in a way that I was able to focus on the current activity that I was doing, whether that's engaging in a conversation with another person, or even just like browsing on the internet, or writing blog posts or making a video. So everything that I was doing, I really felt like that I was able to kind of give my 100% rather than being constantly distracted by the things that I saw on the social media platform. Now, the third thing that I noticed right off the bat was I was more content in my current circumstances, and I was playing less of the comparison game. Now, mind you, even without social media, as long as we're human beings, we're going to compare ourselves to others for the rest of our lives. That's just how we are wired, I think. However, I felt like just not having the window to look into how other people are living, like, I got to really focus on the things that were right in front of me, and not having that additional like surplus information about what's going on in other people, it gave me a chance to really think about what I want for myself. So for example, I am a firm believer that everything that we do, every individual, the decisions that we make is based on that person's value system. And the decisions that I make may be very different from the decisions that other people make because everyone has a different value system. But the thing about social media is you only get to see the surface of what's going on in that person's lives, and inevitably you end up comparing what's going on in your life to that person's life, and either feel bad about it or feel better about it. I don't know, all the complicated things that come with the like button. So when I was off of social media, I really felt like I could internalize and focus more on my personal values and the decisions that I make based off of those things rather than being so much so influenced by what's going on in other people's lives. Next thing, I think it's the fourth one, was having more ownership over my decisions. Now, this is something that you may not even be conscious of when you're on social media, because that's what they do to you with the algorithms. Every advertisement is targeted towards you. Every newsfeed is also kind of like custom created. So that's why they call it the filter bubble. And I think without that, I was able to have more ownership over the decisions that I make rather than decisions that were influenced by the social media algorithms. So have you ever had that time when you would look up a new jacket? Like, let's say you type in like North Face women's jacket on Google, and then like next time you go on Instagram or Facebook, every single ad you see on that page is gonna be the similar kind of advertisement. So the ads already know what exactly that you're looking for, and in a way it could be a good thing, but then it could also be a bad thing, because now you're just being bombarded with the things that people want to sell you. And without that kind of distraction, I felt like I was able to just be grounded a little bit more on making my own decisions rather than being influenced by the external advertisements or external voices in the world. Moving on, having more time to create than to consume. Now, this is one of my favorite things that I'm learning being off of social media, is that I feel like social media can go both ways, where you are constantly consuming information, and by posting something you're also producing information. So in a way it makes you feel like you're actually producing something. However, being off of social media, it gave me a chance to focus more on producing. So whether that be producing YouTube content or producing or being more creative when it comes to like cooking or taking online courses. So having some time to do other things than to consume media or consume information about things that I don't know if it would actually add much value to my life. So I think it was more as in consuming more knowledge rather than just random information, and being able to be selective about what you do want to consume. Now, last but not least, this is my favorite lesson takeaway from being away from social media, was that life became more simple. Remember the time when we were like young, without all the iPhone, without all the noises, and things were rather more simple. Like, you just went over to your friends to ask your friend to hang out, or you would call their home and ask their parents if your friend's at the place. Life became more simple in a sense that I'm not constantly bombarded with information, and the kind of like FOMO that you have as a person, I think that kind of gets intensified when you're on social media, just by being exposed to everything that's going on in everyone else's lives. We inevitably compare ourselves to those events. Kind of removing myself from that noise, I realized how simple life can be, and how much you can focus on what matters to you and not choosing to live by what matters to other people. Now, in addition to everything that I just mentioned, I also noticed that I'm able to enjoy the nature and be more observant when I'm outside. I got to people watch, like the times that we did before social media and before iPhone and like smartphones came out, like just looking at people creepily and really enjoying the variety of humankind, the variety of nature, the variety of lives. So yeah, that's pretty much the lessons that I learned from being away from social media for 6 months. Would I continue doing it? I don't know. I cannot say. Well, for now, I have been really enjoying just being away from having this distraction in this life, and I do believe that it really depends on how you use it. For some people, it's the means of connecting with other people, of attaining some valuable connections, attaining some information and knowledge. So I really do believe it is all up to a person and how you guys use it. But for me right now, this is just my experience of being away from the whole social media scene for about half a year. So if you guys like the video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up or subscribe if you do want to stick around and see more content like this. I usually make videos on faith, minimalism, lifestyle, you name it. So hope you guys like this video, and I will see you around. Stay cool. Bye.